Okay. You have another bill.
Yes, I will try to be brief because the bill covers many of the same topics. AB 1385 ensures the accreditor of the California community colleges doesn't have a blank check to amass legal fees and redirect critical community college funding into a litigation fund. What we ask is that currently the ACCJC can assess any particular special assessment. If community colleges don't pay those assessments, they do run the risk of being sanctioned and run the risk of losing their accreditation. We think that we do need a check so that there's not a blank check of community college and state funds that go to any particular legal fund. So we just ask that before any special legal fee is approved, that there is a vote of the majority of the colleges of their peers, and that once that vote's taken, that of course they can charge whatever fee they would like.
Okay, in support of the bill.
As a student, it's important to me to keep money.
Put the red dot on, please.
As a student, it's important to me to keep money in the classroom and not in the courtroom, so I am pleased to support and respectfully ask for an aye vote on this bill.
Your name and organization you represent.
My name is Madeline Franklin. I'm from Lodi, and I'm a student at UC Berkeley.
Thank you. Okay, others in support of the bill.
Good afternoon. Now, Jennifer Baker with the California Teachers Association. I'd like to note that this measure is very important for financial stability, transparency, and accountability, and urge your support.
I'm Harley Litzman, a student at UC Davis, and as a student whose tuition fees goes to paying down litigation brought against the regents of the University of California, I very much support this bill to prohibit that from happening at the community colleges.
Hello, Rich Hansen on behalf of the California Community College Independent Faculty Unions in the state. We support this bill. If it really is an organization that's run by its members, then this makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, Mitch Seaman with the California Labor Federation, also in support.
Andrew York on behalf of PAC in support.
Dean Murakami on behalf of the California Federation of Teachers strongly support this bill. Thank you.
Tim Killikelly, AFT 2121. We strongly support this bill.
Okay, any opposition to the bill?
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Krista Johns from the ACCJC, and you've already heard a little bit before about my history with education. I'm here to oppose and ask for you to vote against this particular Assembly Bill 1385. There are two primary reasons why this particular bill is in violation of the federal regulations which the ACCJC must follow. And for that reason, I request that you decline to vote yes for this bill. The first reason, this bill asks that there be a vote of the California community colleges prior to there being a special assessment adopted by the ACCJC to pay for litigation costs. And the first reason why this bill should be defeated is that in accordance with the U.S. Department of Education regulations, accreditors are required to be absolutely independent and autonomous in their finances. The 602.14 of the regs, it's 34 CFR 602 is where the higher education pieces are, and that's where the accreditation pieces are, requires the accreditors to have autonomy in developing and determining their own budget with no review or consultation with any other entity or organization. In terms of the review qualifications for when accreditors are being evaluated, whether they meet the regulations, the U.S. Department of Education expects to find that funding sources place no constraints on the financial independence of the institution, and that the process by which the agency sets and collects dues and fees, develops and determines how to spend it, is without influence from any other organization or entity. And there are several other review requirements along that line. So one of the issues here is that there is a blockade to this kind of a regulation by state law or any other, as to the ACCJC or any other regional accreditor. With that said, let me assure you that there are processes in place for how these dues, fees, and special assessments are set. There are 19 commissioners that are elected by the college presidents, including the majority of which being the California Community College presidents. And those individuals are actually the board of directors of the nonprofit organization that is regulated by California law. They are responsible for having policies and procedures and following them as about setting the budget, determining the costs, and making effective good business judgments. In addition to that, the federal regulations look at the policies and implementation of how dues are set, fees are set, and special assessments are set. Special assessments are set based upon a particular identifiable need. Let me just say that for information points, so you get a little sense of the size of this issue. The assessment, people I've seen a lot of talk about, well, this is 5%, this was way too much. For the 133 member institutions of the ACCJC, the total of the special assessment was $143,000. So it was roughly an average of about $1,000 per institution. Nothing to sneeze at. That's a significant amount of money. On the other hand, it's not an outlandish assessment. It was based upon various judgments, including the impact of the institutions. So that's a piece of information. The second reason why this bill is in violation of federal regulations is that it purports to create a right for a certain group of people over others to make a decision about a spending or budgetary call by the ACCJC. And regulations require that there be absolute, equitable, and equal participation and processes in place across the region. Let me say that it does, you know, in terms of a common sense, one can see the reaction. Well, we're the largest group, and so we should have some privilege, and, you know, we should be able to say how things are done. We should have a vote, and our culture and how that's done should be the way it's done. But actually, regulations are counter to that. The federal regulations want there to be none of that. They want there to be a process that is the same across all of the elements and parts of a region, and they do not want there to be a majoritarian group or other that has some kind of a privilege beyond that. So in that way, again, this bill is in violation of federal regulations. Let me just also say that just as California feels that there are policy reasons why they want to impact accreditation practice, those would also apply across the other participants of our region. Let's say that the national government of Micronesia decides that it needs to pass a regulation. Its regulation would also then impact the application of accreditation here in California. And I could name some things that would be within their policy that would absolutely not be as palatable for California. Why I say that is the national scheme provides an opportunity for review, for leveling, and for ensuring these practices are held accountable. And I request that the committee vote this bill down.
Thank you. Others in opposition?
Ryan McElhaney with the Community College League of California, testifying on behalf of California's 112 community colleges and CEOs that run them and that are mentioned in this bill. And we're opposed for similar reasons of the ACC-JC, so we urge a no vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashley Situde on behalf of North Orange County Community College District in opposition for reasons previously stated by ACC-JC. Thank you.
Casey Elliott on behalf of Rancho San Diego Community College District. We're also in opposition.
Okay, thanks. Any questions from members? You do have in your bill on page 2.
Yes.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, page 2, item 4 at the bottom. Compliance with the subdivision shall be excused if the Chancellor of the California Community College has determined that federal criteria for recognition of an accrediting agency by the U.S. Department of Education prohibits the accrediting agency from complying with this subdivision.
That's right.
Correct. And so, I mean, I've never seen a bill that excludes or points out. I mean, I don't know, maybe there are. Makes the exception to the rule.
That amendment was taken in Assembly Higher Ed. We thought that was the most prudent direction to go.
Okay. All right, any other questions from members? Dr. Pan?
No, thank you, Mayor. No, I do have some concerns about the bill. I know I shared some of them with you, and I think it's along the lines of the opposition. I mean, yes, the accrediting body does do, he performs a quasi-public function, right? But also they need to be fiduciarily responsible for their finances. And while it certainly has an impact on our funds, because we fund the community college system, I think there's some issues of interference. I hope you'll continue to work with the opposition around, and also I think some of the federal guidelines that were pointed out by the opposition as well.
Yes, we're happy to continue to, I think, work with them. And again, just to point out, this doesn't touch any of the general fund, the general budgetary function, just a very specific special assessment around litigation fees. So it's very narrow.
Okay, well, certainly.
But we'll continue to absolutely be in discussion with them, absolutely.
Okay. Yes, Senator Mendoza.
For me, I haven't served in many bodies, even when I was city council, we served on JPIAs, and we sent representatives there, and if there's a lawsuit that they're going to be forward with, if they're going to go ahead and have the expense of going through a lawsuit or just pay it off and be done with it, they had some say and some vote. And I do think this goes along the same lines where if you're going to enter some lawsuit or whatever, I think that the members should have an opportunity to be a part of that and be a part of that discussion. And I see the value of this. Yeah. So, I don't want to, I understand the accredited commission has concerns. There's a lot of changes here today, a lot of perceptions of people that want to try to bring it into alignment with a lot of what goes on in the public sector, I guess, or in public office, which I think we're talking about community colleges. They are, our community colleges, so we want them to make sure they run along the same line. So with that, I'd like to move your bill.
Thank you.
Okay, the bill has been moved. Any other discussion or comments from members? I think we've driven everybody away. Okay, let's call the roll.
Dupass, the floor. Blue?
No.
Blue, no. Runner? Block? Hancock? Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Monning? Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. That's 4-1.
4-1. We'll keep the roll open for absent members.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go to Assemblymember Lopez. You have item 15, AB 1366. Welcome to the committee. Sorry to be so slow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I would like to thank you, the committee, the staff for working with my office. I accept the amendments. I'm pleased to present to you AB 1366. This bill creates a Dreamer Resource Centers at California Community College, CSUs, and UCs to serve undocumented students. California has the led way to create a pathway for undocumented students to attend college. However, they're still facing unique challenges. And recently studied at UCLA, undocumented students reported being unfairly treated because of their legal status by the campus officials and the peers. That report also stated that need for a safe and trusted space where students had the ability to share their stories without fear. AB 1366 will create this safe space and trust space for undocumented students. And students to receive up-to-the-date information and the new policies available resource to them, and the moral support that will allow them to focus on their studies. Here today with me, I have two witnesses and support who will share the stories.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello, my name is Early Martinez. Good afternoon, first of all. My name is Early Martinez, and I was born in Mexico City. I am currently attending Glendale Community College, and I am here to support AB 1366. And as of 2012, I was granted the U visa, which is a visa for victims of crimes. With this visa, I was not too aware of what challenges it would bring becoming a college student until it was my transition from high school into college. When it came to applying for financial aid, I was not sure whether I was supposed to apply for FAFSA or the DREAM Act, which was enacted by 2014. I asked counselors for help. They themselves were not unsure in what way to guide me because they weren't too familiar with the U visa since it's not too common. I then decided to speak to other school officials. One even advised me that it would be best for me to let my visa expire. With doing so, I would then be able to be considered undocumented and therefore classified as an AB 540. I was frustrated at this moment because I could not believe that I would have to take time off or even potentially lose my opportunity to gain residency with a U visa. So I went to my school and decided to talk to them again. Although they are AB 540 student advocates, they didn't have the resources to inform me within whether they were going to be able to help me or not. So I began to do my own research. I found out about AB 1899, which was by Mitchell, and that's where I found out that those who have U visa do qualify to be classified as AB 540. I took it back to Admissions and Records, and they were able to figure out my status. I am now classified as an AB 540, which is why I think it's really important to establish these bills that will not only centralize the information that the students need to continue on their higher education, but also have a support group as well as a encouragement for them who are just transitioning into the new college.
Thank you very much. Others in support of the bill?
My name is Mira Menendez, and the day that I found out that I was undocumented, that was the day that I knew that my dreams of going to college would be very difficult. But because I had someone who was informed and well-educated, I was able to now finish up my 4th year at Cal State Long Beach. Once I arrived to Cal State Long Beach, there was a lot of lack of support. The resources were like a scavenger hunt, and a lot of the student groups, like FUEL, carried on a lot of the responsibility to educate other AB 540 undocumented students. That's the reason why I decided to run for vice president of the student body at CSULB, because I knew that our voices were being heard by administration. That is the reason why the support group FUEL mobilized students to open up a Dream Resource Center. We got a lot of rejection from administrations, and that's the reason why we petitioned, we rallied, and we protest to have this centralized safe space zone. Luckily, through a lot of support from the community members and a lot of students, we were able to get the Dream Success Center, and I want to share some facts for you. Our current CSULB Dream Success Center this spring semester has served over 600 students, and has catered to the community by offering 21 community outreach programs. This place has allowed me to feel safe. I have a trained staff that helps me with anything, and I encourage you all to grant this right to all students to have the right to resources. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Yes, Pedro Trujillo. I'm with the California Dream Network in strong support and proud sponsor of the bill. I'm also a staff member of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, CHIRLA, here to help with technical support.
Great, thank you. Those in support of the bill.
Good afternoon, Erica Romero on behalf of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities in support.
Manny Diaz, representing the San Jose Evergreen Community College District, very much in support. And I'm also here as a former state assemblyman from San Jose, and also a co-author of AB 540 under Fireball back in 2001. I think if my good friend Marco Fireball would have been here around alive right now, he'll be here speaking. Hopefully this thing gets passed and the monies and support will be there.
Thank you.
Rhonda Rios-Kravitz, board member of Alianza, a nonprofit of educators, students, and community members working on behalf of Dreamers in colleges and universities. We strongly support this legislation and urge an aye vote.
Thank you.
My name is Maricela Hernandez. I am a member of Alianza, and I am in support of this bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Jesus Flores Rodriguez. I am a student at UC Davis, and I represent Alianza, the UCLA Labor Center, and the Davis community. And as a current beneficiary of the AB 540 and Undocumented Student Center, I support this bill.
Thank you.
Janet Herrera Bucio. I am a student from Cal Poly Pomona and also a member of the California Dream Network. As a strong advocate for AB 540 undocumented students, I strongly recommend this bill.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Laura Galvez. I'm a student at Inglewood City, and I strongly support this bill. I think education is a human right, and these students have already deserved a place there in the school, and it is only our right to provide help and resources.
Thank you.
Juana Guerra, member of the Sacramento City College Dreamers and also the California Dream Network, in strong support.
Thank you.
Daniel Sanchez Alba, steering member of the California Dream Network and student at the Sacramento City College. I strongly support this.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sean Guerra. I'm a student at UC Davis and constituent of Bakersfield, California. And I strongly support this bill because undocumented students shouldn't face fear or discrimination or anything like that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Noé Paramo, California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation, in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any others in support? Is there any opposition to the bill?
Not opposed. Meredith Turner with the Cal State Student Association. We represent the students on all 23 campuses, and our position has been support if amended, mainly due to our concern that if a resource center of any type, whether that be for veterans, former foster youth, or undocumented students, be created, that be a decision left to the local campus, and hopefully a decision made by students in consultation with other campus stakeholders. I am pleased to say, though, that I believe that the amendments remove the concerns that we have, and I just want to thank the committee for their work on this bill. And we look forward to continuing to work with the author on this legislation. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, Senator Leyva, you have a comment, question?
I just want to thank the Assemblymember for bringing this forward. I think this is a terrific bill. Some of the brightest students I've met are our dreamers. And as a mother of two daughters who've been through college, I know how difficult it is to navigate the system. So any support that we can provide to these students so that they can be successful, I fully support. Thank you.
Senator Mendoza?
I want to also thank the author for bringing this important bill forward. I want to thank the students for your excellent testimony. You did a great job presenting your stories. As a child of immigrant parents, I relate to a lot of what you're talking about. Obviously, I was not documented, but sometimes when you go to a new environment like that, it does feel a little bit kind of, not only frightening, but also kind of you feel helpless. But appreciate your stories, and with that, Madam Chair, I would love to move the bill.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from members? Seeing none, the bill has been moved. Closing remarks?
Yes, Madam Chair, I just respectfully asking for your vote.
Thank you very much. Please call the roll.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Blue?
Aye.
Blue, aye. Runner? Block? Hancock? Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Monning? Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. That's 5.
You have 5 votes, sufficient for passage. We'll keep the roll open for our absent members. Thank you very much. Okay, Assemblymember Garcia, you have 1 bill, item 9, AB 1091.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the Education Committee. AB 1091 aims to streamline California's financial aid process along with increasing the Cal Grant and FAFSA completion rates here in our state. Each year, millions of dollars for college are left on the table by students in California because they do not complete the free application for federal student aid property. Based on feedback from students and families in our district and throughout the state, completing the FAFSA could be a challenge, particularly for first-generation college-going students. AB 1091 will authorize CSAC, the California Student Aid Commission, to require electronic submission of graduation verification data. AB 1091 strives to ensure that CSAC make available to each high school and school districts a relevant list of 12th graders who have already completed their application. Here today to testify in support of the bill is Brian Rivas with the Education Trust West.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Madam Chair and members, Brian Rivas on behalf of the Education Trust West. Happy to be here in support. We see this as building on a bill that we ran last year that requires school districts to submit the required high school grade point average to the Student Aid Commission for the Cal Grant application. And I think the gist is that the college admissions and financial aid application processes can be daunting and complicated, particularly for students who don't have a college-going tradition in the home. When we can standardize the transmittal of information required for financial aid, it can have a big impact on the lives of students. And by doing it for everybody, there are a couple of other benefits I just wanted to underscore. Those are reducing some of the bias that can be in the process, because when we did our research, we found some schools help students on somewhat of a selective basis. It's not clear how they go about identifying who gets help by way of having their grade point averages and other information sent directly to the Student Aid Commission. So by doing it for everybody, you reduce the effect of some of that subjectivity. We think all students should have the choice as to whether or not they should, or whether or not they go on to college. And then lastly, by automating things like this, you free up counselors to actually work with students rather than focusing on paperwork. So it's a great bill. Happy to be here in your support.
Thank you very much. Others in support of the bill?
Brandon Biggert on behalf of the California Student Aid Commission. We support the legislation.
Thank you.
Carlos Machado on behalf of the California School Board Association in support as well.
Rosa DeAnda on behalf of the California Community College Chancellor's Office. We're in support of this bill.
Great. Okay. Any others in support of the bill? Is there opposition? The committee didn't receive anything in writing. The bill has been moved. Okay. Please call the, oh, I'm sorry, closing.
Respectfully ask for your item.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Do pass to appropriations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Runner? Block? Hancock? Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Monning? Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. That's 4.
You have 4 votes.
Thank you.
We'll keep the roll open for our absent members.
Have a good day.
Thank you.